So I'm going to share with you some herbal information for I'd say the first 4 chakras. Okay. Janae says she tries to do something every day. Yeah, yeah. Maybe you just do your yoga, your Tai Chi, or is it capoeira? You do something that is a spiritual movement practice. Maybe you do meditate. Maybe you just do some breathing exercises, right? Whatever you do, just do something for yourself like that. Okay. So let's get started. Actually, I want to ask you a question. I want to be sure you're still with me. What chakra are you most interested in? Are you focused on in terms of your subtle energy body and in terms of your healing? Okay. Share that with me in the chat, and just know, again, 30-second delay. Welcome if you're just joining us. So let's get into the herbs. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about this only because I am going to be reading. I don't want to, hold on. I don't want to lose you, but I am going to read it because I want to, as I said, for those of you who were here at the beginning, let me go back for a second here. Those of you who were here right at the start, this information is from an herbologist. I am not, an herbalist. So she shared this information for me to include in my chakra course. Sacral, okay. Brown Divinity says sacral. Yeah, let's see. Solar and heart chakra. Okay. Let's put that up. Tangela says the solar and the heart chakra. Sacral, I know a lot of women, we feel like that's really important. That's the energy center that we feel we may have blockages. As you know, if you have reproductive issues, then that's going to be sacral chakra. There can be other imbalances as well. It's not just one. Okay, let's see. Solar and heart, throat. Okay, I feel like Peach Marie, a lot of people don't pay attention to the throat. It's very important, and it is a higher center. It requires a little bit more purification is the way I would say it. Betty B, that's a wonderful question. And remind me if I forget, and I'll put your question up. As I always say, nobody contacts me till I'm like live on YouTube. And then all of a sudden they're like, I gotta talk to you. Girl, what you up to? It's like, no, not right now. Is the root chakra the most important chakra? We'll get back to that. All right. Welcome, Corinne, Karina, Betty B, 808. All right. So I'm going to be reading this, and I'm just going to pluck pieces of it. Okay. Again, this is from the course. Okay. Hold on here. So let's start with the root chakra. And I think did I pull them up right? Yes. Okay. So so calling it herbal wisdom, right? I like that. This is wisdom that and this isn't an aside, if you come to a live, I always share little stories. My mother, she wasn't an herbalist, but I'm from Jamaica, from the islands. And, she knew herbs. She knew the basic ones for instance, oh my gosh, I'm going to there's something called Sericea. If you watch this later and you know what I'm talking about, do leave it in the comments. And this thing was so bitter. Oh my God. It was the bitterest thing I ever tasted. And there was a certain time of year we had to have this. I remember spitting it out, and I do think I got a spanking because Islanders do believe in spanking. Okay. So, but that was like my last experience with Sericea. And it has a name, but I don't know the name, like the Western name of it. So for your root chakra, for each chakra in the course, I asked her to just share practical, usable information. So we shared 3. So what I will do is share one of them with you for each chakra. Okay. So one that I'm familiar with and that I use for the root chakra and that is recommended is Burdock Root. And I'm going to pull this one and share this one with you publicly because I know that's something you can access. It's not like so exotic that you're like, Viv, where am I supposed to get this herb? Or, well, I don't know. China's not shipping out the herbs right now or whatever. Okay, so Burdock Root, and Sage shares that it's native to the Middle East, Europe, Russia, and Asia, and it's naturalized in the Americas and now worldwide. Okay, so what does she say about it? Okay, so to avoid, I want it to not be like reading boring. So she says it's a grounding plant and it is deeply restorative. So again, for the root chakra, you want something that is a tonic, that is restorative, right? That is sort of strengthens the whole body because it's the root chakra. And again, she shows, I'm like, just give me the very best herbs and that my students can make a tea or a tincture. But I was like, don't give me anything real complicated where they're going to have to be buying and making mixes and so on. So burdock. Now, you guys, do you know what burdock looks like? Burdock root. It looks like a brown carrot. Okay. It's long. It's kind of gnarly looking. And so you can get it. You can get that fairly easily unless you live in a really small town. So she shares that it's an incredible multivitamin plant. The roots are packed with minerals and nutrients. And then she goes on and lists all of them: iron, zinc, protein, calcium, magnesium. Wow. Okay, I just knew it was good for you. And it contains inulin, which is also, and fiber, which is really good for our stomach, right? And getting the right flora in the stomach. And so she says, if you want to make your beneficial gut bacteria really happy, drink lots of burdock. And then she shares how to do a burdock infusion. So we can talk a little bit more about that. It has a laxative effect, burdock does, but gentle. Like, you're not going to, you can still leave your home. And it speeds waste elimination, helps to cleanse the blood, which is when I started using it when I studied macrobiotics. And burdock was one of the foods, because it's kind of a food / herb. Burdock is, and in macrobiotics, they recommend you eat a lot of burdock. You could just cook it and eat it. So it increases the health of the intestines, liver, pancreas, and again, the intestinal mucous membranes. Okay. A lot of us have digestive issues because our food is so bad now. It's so refined. Maybe you grew up on kind of bad food. And what I mean by that is our parents didn't know. I think I ate Wonder Bread growing up. I think, Wonder Bread is like nothing. Like you take the bread and you squish it. I always love to say this. And it's like this small because there's nothing in it really. It's just not a lot of nutrition there. So burdock is what I would recommend as one of the herbs that you can use for the root chakra. And then I'm just going to check back, see if there are any questions and go back to the screen. Let me know have you ever used burdock. Let me know in the comments and then I'll go on to sacral. Yes, Life Coaching 365. Oh, Circe, yes. Oh, yes. I think that it's supposed to cleanse your blood. So, oh my God. So that's like a Jamaican thing, and I'm sure other cultures may have a different name. But yes, Circe tea, it is so bitter. So typically bitter has to do also with the liver, right? Like, it was so, and I was a kid and nobody warned me. They give you something to drink. You're a little girl. You're like, oh, this is going to be nice. And you drink it. I swear, I think I just spit it back out. I just was like, oh no, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. You didn't mean to give me this. So yeah, Mom was not pleased with that. Tangela, you've used the capsule of which one? Of Circe? And I read the name once, like the real name. I don't remember what it was. The real name, but like the name Circe is, I'm not sure like what. Yeah. But like the other name for it. But I can't remember what that was. So yes, Tangela says she's used the capsule. So burdock. All right, let's go on to the sacral chakra, an herb for that. All right. Oh, between Circe and castor oil. Oh God. Yes. Castor oil is also, for some reason, in the Caribbean, is just, I don't know what it is. It's the nastiest. You actually just reminded me because I don't know, why was I given that? I hated that. Now I think I did swallow that, but the face I made. Yes, burdock does taste pretty good. It really does. And we could even talk a little bit about how to cook it. If you cook burdock properly, it is not chalky. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick recipe for burdock. When I was studying macrobiotics, what we would do is you get carrots and burdock, and you slice them thin, and you basically saute them in like a little olive oil or something. And you guys, and you cook it a while because it's a root vegetable. It actually gets sweet. I'm not lying to you. It's a mild, sweet flavor, like the way a what would be very mildly sweet? It's a subtle sweet flavor. Okay, so you cook the burdock with carrots. You slice them thin, like little slivers, and you just saute and really cook it. Add some water and let it kind of cook down a little. And it's going to be nutty and sweet. I promise you. Yes, maca, there's so many herbs. Now, obviously, right? So I'm not talking about, my course is not it's not an herbal course, and there are many, many herbs. And like I said to my friend, give me the best, what you would recommend for each chakra. Now, the chakra has to do with an organ system, right? So that's what I got. So let's go. Yeah, burdock does taste. Okay, yeah. A little bit chalky. I know what you mean, but Janae, try it. Try it the way I'm saying. I think you're gonna really like it. It's kind of earthy. So for the root chakra, right? And it's a root, and there's a whole thing about that also, that roots are the most grounding. So for those of you out there like me, welcome. If you're just joining us, we're talking about herbs for various chakras. We did a meditation if you missed that. And then I'll take questions at the end. Again, I'm not the herbalist. This is from my chakra course. And my friend who is an herbalist named Sage, I have to keep repeating, guys, as folks join. This is her information, okay? I went to an expert for this because this was outside of my area. I know some about herbs, but I didn't want to, I wanted an expert for you. Okay, yes, earthy. It is earthy, Janae. And that's the word I used, yes. I had a friend who doesn't like Indian food, and I was like, what are the spices? And he finally said, it's kind of like, it tastes almost like dirt. And I kind of knew what he meant. So I like the word earthy, okay, instead of dirt. Instead of dirt. I just think that's really mean to be like dirt. Okay, so burdock root. So there's a lot. Like I said, she's talking about it contains iron, zinc, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, like a lot of really powerful things that we need, especially in trace amounts. In the course, like I said, she tells me you can look up also how to do an infusion. I'm not going to read all that, and how to do a decoction method, which she says is for the highest mineral content. So you could do a decoction with it. And so she says, yes, she compares it to nettles and says that burdock is a powerful adaptogen, and it helps to regulate and lower our stress response, right? And balance our endocrine and hormonal systems. So you guys, a lot of times people are very like simplistic, like, you all know this, herbs affect, that's why they're herbs, and they're, in a way, they're more gentle, is that it's not just one area. So she's talking a little bit about that it does also affect the, the health of other organ systems, like the kidneys, which we would put with the sacral chakra. Okay, so they have a multi-pronged effect, which you want. You want, everything works together. Like, what good is it to have, well, my kidneys are great, but my liver is like really messed up, right? So the organs are all interrelated. So that's really good. So burdock. For sacral specifically, again, knowing that they affect multiple areas, the herb she recommends, one of them, let's see, which one do I want to pick to tell you guys, is hibiscus. All right, hibiscus. And she gives us the Latin name, Hibiscus sabdarifa. I don't know. Sabdarifa. Okay. And it's native to Asia and the South Pacific. And she says that hibiscus is an incredibly sexy red flower. I think I have seen what it looks like. I've had hibiscus tea. It is thick and a dark red, tart and sweet. Okay. Use this flower tea to bring passion, sensuality, and juiciness to your life. I love how she writes. Hibiscus is healing to our reproductive tissues and organs, as well as strengthening the kidneys and bladder. Now, they are connected. I know it seems weird, like, what does my kidney and my bladder have to do with my uterus? Trust me, it is really all connected. So you want all of those systems working together. You can drink the tea for urinary support, similar to how you'd use cranberry juice. Okay. Hibiscus can help regulate menstruation and slow excessive bleeding. Now, I wish I had known that. As you guys, I've shared with you, I had an issue. It's definitely my sacral chakra. And I feel like a lot of us women, especially Black and brown women, there's a lot of times we have issues with the sacral chakra. And I think there's a lot of different reasons, various levels of reasons, from dietary to stress, which affects your hormones, which throws off our reproductive system, to just a lot of different things that we face as women, and then as Black or brown or tan women especially. But so try hibiscus, and she gives a recipe for just steeping the flowers, which is very simple, and also how to make a glycerite, like a glycerin out of it. And I think that sounds really nice to make. So hibiscus would be the recommendation for the sacral chakra. And she does add that in cases of sexual abuse, heartbreak, or grief related to intimate relationships, she would recommend hibiscus specifically. So that's really interesting. Yeah. So let me know, have you tried hibiscus? Have you ever had like hibiscus as an herbal, as a strong herbal tea? Not just, and you guys, we're talking about brewing them stronger than the stuff you just buy like in the supermarket, because obviously the supermarket grade, they need to keep it light enough so that it doesn't affect people negatively. Does that make sense? It's not like a medicinal strength. But maybe because I know like hibiscus is in some blends, but she's talking about brewing it a little bit stronger. Of course, this is not a medical recommendation. Speak to your doctor or herbalist. Okay. Especially if you have any particular issue, illness or anything. But so hibiscus is the recommendation for the sacral chakra. And I like that if in cases of heartbreak, grief, or sexual abuse related to intimate relationships, then this is a nice one to work with. Oops. Okay. Well, I've already gone half hour. All right. Let me know. Yeah. Have you ever had hibiscus like by itself or like an herbal strength, not just in other mixes? Because it definitely is in some store-bought mixes. So let me just check and have a sip of my tea. Remember, get some tea, hang out. I am also adding the sense that I'm working at the divine feminine pace. And what that means is I am just slowing down and going deeper and incorporating more rest. And that is a powerful aspect of the divine feminine awakening in this time, is to not get that driven, crazy hustle culture that leads us to where we are now. In our society. It's to sort of just slow down, take a little more time, more introspection, more love, more relationship, and all of that. Yes. Okay, let me share what Life Coaching 365 says. I brew real hibiscus for hormonal balance. Nice, nice. Hi, Tanjila. Oh, Janae. You guys, Janae is specializes especially in helping and supporting women who have given birth, whether it's, they just did and they're healing, or if it's a couple years out. And she is a yoga teacher as well. It's focused a lot on prenatal and postnatal, I suppose would be how you would say it. Oh, yeah. Raspberry leaf. Now, again, and this is what I say, raspberry leaf is great. It has certain effects that it depends what you need, not just the chakra, but on what your physical needs are. Because, you could be, say, having very scanty menstruation, for example, or you could be having excess menstruation, still sacral chakra, right? But relative to that, you want to have a particular herbal, again, this is not medical advice, but you know what I'm saying. So don't just take an herb without sort of knowing its efficacy for what you're going through. Because, for instance, some things do increase bleeding, and that may be what a woman needs, right? Depending on her condition. So it's always based on your condition is all I'm saying as well. Yes. Yeah. So, I really started saying it. I usually don't say it, that stuff, but I'm really, there's a movement called like slow, it's called slow food. Some of you may have heard of it. And it's part of it is trying to go against the sort of food industrial complex where your food is just this product by a corporation, and it's not healthy, nutrient filled, delicious. It's just like this thing they dump in front of you that they artificially pump up so it tastes good, has sugar, has salt, has all this fake stuff to make you eat it. So slow food is this movement that I've heard about years ago, and it's about real food, whether it's meat, whatever it is, but that it's real food and that you savor it. It's a whole lifestyle. So when I say the divine feminine, that's also part of the divine feminine, is to not, is just to slow down, is just to slow down. So I know that's not going to work for all of you. Some of you are going to say, oh, things are too slow or you're going too slowly, but I'm just really incorporating this. So I'm just telling you, oh, Tangela, I was told to slow down. Tangela, I'm intuitive because I didn't even intend to talk about that, but I really try to flow with what is, and it's always somebody who's watching either now or in the replay. It's always to their benefit. So yeah, we accomplish so much more, ladies, when we slow down. And again, we can talk about that in the Q&A. Let's keep going through. So we're up to the third chakra, up to Manipura. Okay. And again, I'm reading because this is new in the Chakra Course, and it's from my friend who is an herbalist. So I'm actually just reading you what she shared. I'm picking an herb for each one. Let's see. Well, let's go with ginger because we all know ginger, but ginger is, honestly, if I could say you could only have one thing in the house that's medicinal, seriously, I think I would say ginger, have fresh ginger root, because you're covering so many things. So we're talking about Manipura, the third chakra, which has a lot to do with digestion. So yes, Zingiber officinale, it's native to Asia. In ancient India, ginger was called the universal medicine. So that, and I hadn't read that yet when I said to you guys, that's the one I would pick, but it is. All through, of course, we have so many influences in the Caribbean. And so ginger is like our thing. You gotta have some fresh ginger, put some pepper too, but you gotta put some ginger. Okay, so thousands of years, ginger is sweet, mothering, and calming to the nervous system. It strengthens our inner fire. And that's the main thing to remember about ginger. Okay, remember when I said the thing about, like, if you had excess menstruation, for example, I would not use a lot of ginger. And this is something, sometimes people separate things. They're just like, oh, ginger is good for you. If you're literally having super heavy periods, I would not load up on ginger because it's heating. You're going to feel hotter and your blood is going to flow more because it stimulates the blood circulation. Like, that's just what it does. Okay. So you've got to know, you've got to take the herbal information, goddess, and then you have to think about it and say, okay, what are these effects for me? It's not that ginger is bad, but are the effects for me? Okay. From where I am. So she goes on, yeah, it's warming, of course, increasing blood circulation, which I just said. It's one of the most beloved digestive aids. Absolutely. Let's see. Let me share if there's something in here that you may not be as well. Of course, as a wonderful cold and flu remedy, if you need to sweat, right? You need to kind of sweat it out. You need to heat your body up in a good way, like break a fever. And also more, what I mean to say is more like when I'm feeling really cold, and depending on my overall condition, I'll definitely put some ginger into a tea with some other things, but it warms my body up. Like if I'm feeling kind of cold and it's winter, then ginger is really wonderful. It is a great antimicrobial. She connects it to things related to the lungs. So again, the herb doesn't just stop in one part of the body, right? It affects the lungs. Like when you have a lot of phlegm, absolutely. Ginger is going to bring that up. It's going to dry it out and it's going to bring it up. Okay. Because you don't want all that phlegm, right? So I find ginger is great for increasing energy levels and bringing us joy. And then she talks about how to make an infusion with it. Another herb, I'll tell you for, I'm going to do one more for the, she talks about sweet and bitter orange, which I've never used orange peel. She's talking about for the third chakra. That's another one that she gives some recipes for and some information on. I have not done that in terms of orange peel. So that's interesting to me. And that's something she's recommending for Manipura. And I could see that, especially that could work with that. Let's go on, and then I'll take questions. The final one I'm going to cover today is the heart chakra, and an herbal that is simple, easy to get. That was one of my requirements. That would be easy for you to use. So let me just see what she shared here. Am I going to give the obvious one? Let's see. I'm going to share with you motherworth. Motherworth. I'm sure you've heard of it. She gives the scientific name or the Latin name, Leonoris cardiaca, lion heart. I somehow related to it. I don't know. Motherworth is the best plant, Sage says, that I found to help find strength and calm in the vulnerable, painful places in the heart. The plant was given the common name motherworth because it was given to anxious mothers after they gave birth. I swear I didn't know that. I did not know that. Janae, did you know that? Share in the chat if you knew that. I did not know that. It is a fierce protector. So sage works with plants, not just for their sort of inner thing, but she works with them energetically. So a lot of her language includes that. So motherworth, she works with plant spirit medicine. So motherworth is a fierce protector when you're feeling extra sensitive, irritable, emotional, or anxious. Okay, I think we all need some motherworth right now. That's when she really recommends it. And a lot of that is related to the heart, the physical heart. Okay, in traditional Chinese medicine, which is what I studied as part of my massage studies, the heart, when somebody is anxious, it's actually heart related. We tend to link it to the heart. And anyway, I don't want to say more of that. I don't want to like scare you. Don't start worrying or anything. But motherworth is a powerful heart tonic. And I think she meant to say nervine and nerving, easing anxiety and tension. So, So yeah, emotional pain, stress, motherworth tea. Making some motherworth tea. Okay, and she says it is bitter. Just be aware of that it is a bitter tea. You could also use it as a tincture. So again, I asked her to put things that were easy to purchase. So nothing too exotic, nothing too hard to find. So again, this was for the heart chakra. Hawthorn is one, and motherworth is the main one we were talking about. Yeah, is motherworth. That's so interesting. I did not know. It was given to anxious mothers after they gave birth. That's why it was given the common name motherworth. Interesting. It's excellent for regulating blood pressure, which is high in many people in our community. And he's easing heart palpitations. Yeah. And especially with all we've been through in 2020 and still continuing in 2021, I think there's just a lot of anxiety. So you want to look into motherworth, okay? And again, relating it up to the heart chakra. So I'm going to go back. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks if you just joined. If you just joined, you might want to go back to the beginning. All right, so I'm going to read some comments, a few questions, and we'll go from there. So welcome if you're just joining. Yes. Life Coaching 365. And I had that up on the screen so you guys got a chance to. So go ahead and put in, if you have a question, put a Q first in front of it. Okay. Life Coaching 365. I would put honey. Be aware. The West still hasn't seen this, but I have to tell you so many things that are in Ayurvedic wisdom, specifically, I look to a lot, and other. I really look at Ayurveda a lot because it's easy to understand. They say honey should not be boiled or heated past a certain point that it becomes toxic. Now, they don't mean like you're going to drop dead, but a lot of the stuff that they share, science then later finds out. For instance, it was in Ayurveda, over a decade ago that I first made this connection between, they talked about your gut health and your brain. now we all know, those of us who are really into holistic things, we know that now the West is, oh yeah, your gut health, it's like a second brain. Like they just discovered this. This was really known thousands of years ago. Again, partly by observation. If you were very observant, you can start to make correlations. And then, of course, over time, wisdom got built upon. So having said that, I would use honey, absolutely, but do not heat it with the honey. Put the honey after it's cool, just a little. Like, don't boil anything with the honey in it, and don't put it if the tea is like boiling hot. It's just let it cool a little bit. Okay, the honey will be more beneficial. Okay, so, and while I'm just seeing if there's any questions, put a Q first so I'll know it's not a side conversation. I do want to let you guys know, and I'm really excited about it, and I would love to see you in it. The Chakra Course, I recently added a certification track. Okay, and I want to share a little bit with you what that means, and then I'll take some questions. Okay, because this is a really important part of my work, and I'm really proud of the work that I put into making this course. So I changed a bunch of things, and some of you in the chat are in the course, so but what I've added the herbal stuff, and also reconfigured it. But if you're interested in certification, who would the certification be for? I just want to share that. Okay, for those of you live with me and for those of you who might come later. I'm looking at this as a certification for life coaches, yoga teachers, massage therapists, counselors, therapists, or educators. So the Chakra Course, it's going to heal you, take you to the next level. And then the certification is you're able to incorporate what you've learned in your field. So if you're a yoga teacher, you have all of not just this information you've taken in, and you've done the practices. So you're in a different place having taken my course, and then you can incorporate it. Or if you're a massage therapist, you've now really deeply studied the chakras. You've done the meditations yourself, the mudras. I teach activation points. And I have to tell you, the activation points, you guys, are what most people, that's what they like the most. Like when I ask them, what did you like most about the course? They're like, those activation points were very, very powerful. Okay. And that I get from my training in shiatsu and massage therapy, but specifically this form of acupressure, which is called shiatsu. And so I correlated points with each chakra. And that is what sets, primarily, I would say, that's a main differentiator of my course, my online training. So go check it out. I would love to have you in there and have people who are, really deeply interested in this, and people who are being called, who are healers, like I said, life coaches, educators, or even if you're a mom and you want to just be like the best mom you can be and raise your kids being fully present and all of that. So it's a course that's going to be your self-development, but can also then be used. And here I'm looking back for where I am with you guys. It can be used for incorporated into what you do. So that's why I made a certification to get people who are really serious about learning about the chakras and energy healing. So do check that out. And I'm going to put that up, just my website name. And let me then take any questions. So let me go back to the comments, and remember there's a slight delay early on. So we've got Janae, Peach Mari, Tangela, Shay Girl, welcome, Betty B 808. The root chakra, yeah, Creases. Somebody said Creases tea, and I think, why does that ring a bell as well? Creases. Amaya Rodriguez. Amaya, I have tons of videos on the root chakra, so I'm not going to go over it again, because folks who really follow me the best thing is for you to watch those videos. I have a whole playlist. Oh my God, I do. So Amaya, thank you for that question. If I had an assistant live on the call, which I don't, not live on the call, she could actually put that in. But if you go to my main page on YouTube, you'll see playlists, and it says chakra playlist, and you'll see everything about the root chakra. But I did want to take a question that was more specific. Something about the root chakra was a question. Hold on, let me see if you have a question. Yes, Circe. Oh, Janae, you know Circe too? Oh my God, I didn't know that. It's so bitter, because there's grades of bitter. like your ears do something. It's so bitter, you know? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, CT. Yes, yes. Let's see. Oh, yes, but yeah, we went over the castor oil. Keep it away from me, please. Please. Yes, Brown Divinity says, here, let me see if I can show that. I love hibiscus. I have a dress from Hawaii with the print. And isn't it funny because it is a very showy flower and that it goes with sort of the sexual, sensual chakra. So that's just interesting, right? This like exuberant, just gorgeous flower. It's like I said, when my friend Sage talks about it, it's each plant, it's like it is a being. Every culture had that. Like except our Western culture has been so cut off. Everybody's kind of cut off from, what we knew. But every culture, every traditional culture had a relationship with its plants, right? The plants that grew in its area, especially the women would know, okay, you need to use this plant if you're having this problem. And to ease your childbirth, we need to pick this plant. And that's what I was saying. My mom knew some of that. She knew enough just for daily life, So I just think it's really beautiful. Okay. Yeah. And Janae, I love that. I don't know if you could share more about that. Ask all moms what the kidney and bladder have to do with the uterus. Well, I know they're all very close. And if you're pregnant, things going to get a little crazy. So, just realized I'm wearing the dress in my picture. That is so bizarre. Isn't that bizarre that that's the one I picked to talk about? And she's wearing, like in her picture, she's wearing that dress. Brown Divinity, check out my course if you are really wanting to to grow. Because I just want to address one thing. I know for some people, they're just like, oh, there's a lot of free information I can look up. And there absolutely is a lot of free information on the internet. But there's a couple of things with getting just stuff that's free. You have to go search for it and put it all together yourself. The problem is you don't know the quality of it. And usually if something is free, the quality is not going to be as good. That's often the case. But it's also that unlike like in my trainings, everything is organized for you. So you can go look up specific things, but then you're like cobbling it together. You're like piecing it together yourself. So if you're really interested in your spiritual growth and your healing, and you're especially really into chakras and you'd like a certification, then, check out my course. So yeah, you're welcome, Victoria. So those were the herbs, and it was something about the root chakra. I remember it. Is it the most important? In the sense that yes, it's the base, right? Just like the root of a tree. And then and it's like going up the spine, the chakras all, like lined up one over the other. It is important in the same way that if the root of something is not nourished, then the things above it, right? The bark, the leaf, everything, it's not going to be able to flower. Having said that, each chakra is related to different things and so is still important. So that's where the tree analogy falls apart because the heart chakra is really important, right? I'll give you an example. I've known people who maybe their heart is closed off, right? Their heart is closed off. What do you think also can happen, you guys? Yeah. No, hang on. I've got still a couple minutes. Life Coaching 365. Don't leave yet. But thank you for wishing an amazing week. They have trouble. They may have a heart condition, but also because in the metaphysical realm, it's all related. So they may not get into relationships. They may stay alone. They have a heart condition. Those things aren't considered separate. It's the heart energy isn't flowing. So yes, the root chakra is very important, but if the heart chakra isn't balanced, if the energy can't flow through the heart chakra, what may happen is then it also doesn't access the throat, or the chakra below, Manipura, doesn't get nourished. So, the energy flows up, but there's also energy flowing down. So any chakra being imbalanced is has an effect on the whole system, because it's like they're flywheels and everyone is connected to the one above and the one below. And so if one isn't spinning and balanced, then it affects all the others. It affects their functioning, which then affects our physical body, but also, and that's what I was trying to say with my story, our emotional well-being is also thus affected. For example, I have, sorry, my nose started to itch. I have a friend who is so sweet, so really, really sweet, kind, very gentle person, very, very gentle person. And I've never spoken about it with her specifically as a chakra issue, but her voice is very almost disconnected from her body. It's kind of high. It's just not integrated. And she has had throat issues, mouth issues, and yeah, right. And so there's the throat chakra, right? Communication, clear communication is like one of the key things with Vishuddha. So, and it's interesting. She also loves the color blue, especially light blues, but even going into some of the deeper blues. She's a very upper chakra person. So each chakra is important. Each chakra is important. Sorry, guys, my lights just went out. Not my lights, but my one, like not all my lights. my filming light just went out. I find that once my root was balanced, I noticed I can move forward. Oh, that's beautiful, Tangela. Yes. And in the course, which by the way, I changed the name. I changed it from Chakras for Challenging Times. I changed it to, it's so embarrassing because I was playing with so many different names, but now it's like Chakra Soul Healing. I changed the name. Let me know if you like it. I changed it to Chakra Soul Healing. So yeah, if you, in the course, you do start at the root chakra and I go through going up. Okay. Because I feel like that, well, it makes sense. It just makes sense. And for a lot of us, the lower chakras, we still have issues there. Okay. And I don't mean issues in a bad way. We're all healing. It's all a spiritual journey. It really is. But yeah, so I start at the root chakra and then go sacral, manipura, and go up. And I think that is the best way to work. So Tangela, that's fantastic. Yes. What will you notice as your root chakra becomes more balanced? Okay, because that would be a good question. I'm sorry, I just saw a funny question. I'm like, what? Something about a nose. I'll get back to that. The root chakra has to do, one of the inner unfoldments is that you're able to be still. So if you have a friend, I have a couple of friends like this, that they shake their legs all the time. I always say this. I think I said it before in one video, like their legs are always like jiggling. Root chakra. And more, that's usually anxiety. It can also be really deep fatigue, by the way. Somebody's leg is, because one time I noticed I was doing that for a short period of time, for like maybe a couple days, and I was really tired, but I was trying to keep going, and it was almost like I was trying to keep myself awake. I know it sounds weird, but the root chakra will give you stillness, the ability to be still, to be like a mountain, right? And it's a deep stillness, contentment, peace, right? And so, yes, just getting each chakra to a better place is going to be healing, and it's going to help heal the issues, not just physical, but emotional. If you do the work, if you do the practices. Okay, so let me see with this itching question. I'm sorry, but your question made me laugh. Okay, question, Betty B says, is having an itchy nose a spiritual sign? No, I wouldn't particularly think so. Why would you think so? I get it sometimes, and it can be a nonstop itch. Where on your nose? I don't know. Is it on the tip of your nose? Like where? I just think something's irritating your nose and you need to that's what, especially when I go live, then suddenly my nose itches, but not that I know of. Not that I know of. Yes, Victoria, I love that. Victoria says, this is awesome. Thanks for sharing. Much love to our plant family. Yes. So the plants I shared with you, and you can go back and watch if you're just joining, I shared a specific plant for each chakra. I shared something that was easily accessible, not something exotic, not some like herb that you couldn't access. And the information came from my friend Sage, who is a master herbalist and sort of views herbs spiritually, not just as like plants that heal you. Because I think some herbalists are just like, yes, they're great, they're healing, but she gets into the metaphysical realm of plants and, like I said, plant spirit medicine. So, and I'll have like some of her contact info in the course added soon. I need to add it in soon. I noticed that I can flow into my yoga poses better. Oh, that's fantastic, Tanjila. Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. No, Betty B 808. No, she's not on YouTube. She is not on YouTube. YouTube takes a lot of time, you guys. It really does, especially pre-filmed videos. That's actually why I like lives, because again, this is kind of giving you behind the scenes, but obviously when a person does a live, it's already uploaded to YouTube, versus if I made a video for you guys, I plan it, I research the topic, that people care about it. Like I see, are people searching for it? Film it, put makeup on, set up my lights, everything. And then I have to edit it and then upload it. So it takes like a long time versus just going live with you. It's done. The video is done when I'm finished the live. So no, she is not on YouTube. A lot of people are scared to be on YouTube because sometimes you get very negative people. You get people who, of course, you've heard of trolls, who I think they just go from one person to the other, just trying to bother people, like people who don't have a life. So many people are scared of being on YouTube. I would encourage you, if you're a healer, any of my students in the chat, I encourage them to, we're all here for a purpose. And if you are a healer, a teacher of any sort, an educator, I think it is great for you to have a YouTube channel. And I do actually I do a separate training in that, where I do one-on-one, and I take you through having a YouTube channel. It is an investment. I find that if people are not invested, they might make one video and then they just sort of stop and flake out. And I'm just done working with flaky people. I'm being honest with you. I only really, and that's also why I added different levels to the Chakra Course. I wanted it where those who are just at their self-healing level, but also those who are already healers, therapists, and so on, Reiki masters, who want to just have another level of certification and understanding. And so those people would be really invested in the work, and they would do the meditations, they would do the mudras, they would do the activation points that I teach. So I want people who are really motivated and dedicated in my course. And so I hope you will check that out. I want to learn more about herbs, maybe one day. Yes, Brown Divinity. And you could share what you already know. In fact, Brown Divinity, tell us what your channel is about. I'll bring you up. I'll bring your comment up. Just share if you have a channel, what do you share right now? Is chakra work? Yeah, great question. Great question, Shay Girl. I didn't see it before. I'm sorry. It can be. That's actually a great question. Shadow work, for those who don't know, is like the idea that, yeah, of course, behind us, right, there's a shadow that we can't see, and it's stuff that we have pushed away. Everybody does that. Like maybe if your parents said to you, you're so selfish. You're so selfish. Which is something sometimes parents will say to a child. Then you have this like shame because you wanted an ice cream. Let's be honest. You were 3 years old and you wanted that ice cream, and your parents are like, you're so selfish. You always take the ice cream or something, and they give it like to your sister or something. Then you have this shame. You literally may have always in your mind, I'm so selfish, like behind you, that you don't know is affecting you. Okay. So yes, the chakra work, Shay Girl, exactly. It starts to diminish the shadow. That's actually what the chakras are about. Sorry, I was just looking at this message. By doing like the bija mantras and working with the chakra, you're cleansing the stuff that was there that was unconscious. So yes, absolutely. It is related to shadow work. It's a form of doing the shadow work. Like I include journaling also in my program. And so I give different levels of working with it, but just even the meditations and the acupressure points, because they move the energy. I'll give you an example. You may suddenly remember when your mother said to you, you're so selfish, like when she yelled at you, right? Maybe she yelled at you in public and you really felt very humiliated. But like I said, you're 3 years old. Now you're 30, you don't remember it consciously. As you're doing the chakra work with me, you then remember and you feel it. You really feel it. You feel those feelings and they're able to move through you and out of you, right? You're no longer carrying that shame and unworthiness from what a parent inadvertently said. So yes, that is a great question. That is a great question. Yes, it is a form, a way of doing your shadow work. Very, very, and a deep way, because, and here's why I say that. Sometimes when you do just try to journal, because that's how most people try to do it. When you journal, where are you journaling from? You're journaling from your conscious mind, like, oh, I love myself, right? We're doing affirmations. That's one way, but you're still working from the top. You're not working from deep within. It's almost like you're trying to like top down fix the problem. The chakras are more going in directly, and that's why they are very powerful. Yes. Shadow work. Yes. Let's do it. Here. Let me see. Because I think I had asked a question. Shadow to me are the luck. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's baggage. Yeah. That's how we would say it in like common language, right? Like, and like, yeah, she's got baggage. He's got some baggage, right? He's got some heavy baggage. Exactly. It's like, it's the stuff that the person doesn't see because it's like attached to them. Yes. So totally, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah. Let me see what Brown Divinity, I'll share what she does. She says she wants to learn more about herbs, and I asked her what her channel is. So let's see. I also wish there were more holistic options near me. Yes. Yeah. I don't know what state or area you're in. But yeah. She says, and my crystal shop. I post. Oh, okay. This is what Brown. So check her out, you guys. See if you like her channel. Don't follow if you don't like her channel. And here's why. You don't want to follow somebody on YouTube, like subscribe, and then never watch their video, because that actually hurts their channel. It does. Seriously. Brown Divinity. I don't know if you knew that. So only follow somebody if you know you really do like what they put out. Don't just follow them because you think you're helping them, because you won't actually be helping them. Because YouTube will be like, how come they have that many subscribers? But, so yeah, it's weird. It's tricky. So check out Brown Divinity. She posts on law of attraction and positivity. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. I will check out your channel and see how you're doing. So Brown Divinity, yeah, I don't know where you live. It just sounds like, yeah, there's not a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of stuff. And let me just check if there's any more questions. Otherwise, I'm going to close. Yes, I realize that our time is worth a lot more than we think, and knowledge is an investment. Oh, absolutely. I think people like learning online, like those of you who are in the course, can you share a little bit about what you've gotten so far? When you study something that you want to study, remember I used to teach in college. Brown Divinity may not know that. Some of my students were in college because they didn't know what else to do, right? Their parents told them you should go to college, you'll get a better job, but they didn't have any, some of them didn't have their own drive. So like the women, because my course is only for women at this point, the Chakra Soul Healing course. I like that name, Chakra Soul Healing. The women in my course are there for a purpose. And the ones who are successful with it are there for a purpose. In the first chapter of the course, I asked them to come up with a plan of how often they're going to practice, to set the habit, to write it down, figure out 2 or 3 times a week where they can do the practices that I'm teaching them in the course, and to just make a commitment, right? When we go to college, a lot of us are still, especially in the US, we're just drinking and partying. Right? When you're older and you take a course, you take it by choice. So that's different. Okay. Who gave me the itchy nose now? Yeah. Brown Divinity. The YouTube algorithm is cold. Yes. Brown Divinity. I would totally be willing to chat with you. Let me put my thing about YouTube. okay? Because I know how hard it is. Here, I'm going to give you an email. And you guys, if you need to reach out to me, assistant at intheflowofmagic.com, because I would be absolutely willing to chat with you about YouTube for a bit, just give you some tips, especially if you're newer to YouTube. Super Galactic. Okay, I'm putting this up just because I like the name. I haven't even read it yet. I heard a lot of people saying that people that work on their chakras concerning health, they recover better. Yes, I would say that. Again, it's not medical advice because I'm not a doctor. I do have to say one thing again, in very serious. I'm not going to push anything for my benefit if I don't this is what I'm going to say. A physical issue is the final result of a lot of stages of coming through our energy. So it can be harder to shift, is all I'm saying, just with chakra work. I tell everyone I would do, you could do you of course check with your doctor, do Western medicine, whatever, but I would also do herbs. I would do acupuncture. Acupuncture is very, very powerful, you guys. In fact, of all the holistic methods that I have personally experienced, if a person were going to do holistic, if they chose to, after talking with their doctor, whatever, and being over 18, I would go with acupuncture and herbs. Acupuncture is very, very powerful modality. It's natural, but it is very powerful. I've had it many times. And I would actually do Chinese herbs specifically. And I say that because their particular system has come through for thousands of years, and it's extremely specific and documented. For instance, if I would go to a Chinese herbalist, I would get a formula that contained like 10 herbs. Why? Because they did their check of me, and then they're like, okay, you have this going on, but you got this going on, so I'm going to balance you like this. I'm just telling you, it's the most sophisticated herbal system in the world that I've seen. Every culture has its own specific unique herbs it may use in a formula, but the Chinese herbal system is the most detailed and complex and specific that I have seen. And it's just documented through thousands of years. I mean, they literally refer back to books that were written thousands of years ago about specific illnesses and disorders that we may think are new, and they had it, back in that time, and they came up with a formula. But yeah, the chakras would be part of what I would do for physical healing. That would not be the only thing. I envision my work as the emotional and spiritual healing that allows us to manifest like what we want and do what we came here to do, what we incarnated to do. So yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Brown Divinity. Yeah. And if anyone is interested specifically in taking the course on chakras as a certification level, also reach out to me. And I would talk with you if it's right for you. Again, this is for healers, coaches, light workers, whether you do Reiki, whether you do massage, whether you're a yoga teacher, maybe whether you're just a teacher of like a regular subject, but you want to grow yourself, or you want to have some sort of healing business, then do check out my Chakra Soul Healing course. It is at my website. Before I close, I'm going to put it one more time, and I'm going to check if there's any last questions. My website is intheflowofmagic.com. And let me just see here. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, it would definitely be supportive. That was a great question. Super Galactic. That's a great name. Super Galactic. Super Galactic. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Let me see if there's anything that I missed. Yeah. Oh, Shay Girl, I'm sorry I missed your question. And you did put a Q. It's actually, I'm reopening it again, I think June 5th. So go to intheflowofmagic.com, Shay Girl. Again, there is a certification option, which is for those who want to dive deeper. And there are definitely perks to it that I, as I was sort of studying how to make it even better for those who are already healers, light workers, and so on. So yeah, you can register now, Shay Girl. I would love to have you in there. Like I said, there's a couple of people in the chat who are in the course, and really happy to see them here. I really appreciate you guys for coming to the lives. So, oh, hibiscus sparkling water. Actually, what I would do, Brown Divinity, if you're still here, is if you could make, I would make my own way you want it sparkling. Only reason I say that is if it's something you store bought, it's probably not going to be super strong. So if you're using it more for a medicinal level of herbal, then it's probably relatively weak. If it's something store-bought sparkling water, if you just want like just something refreshing and nice, then yeah. So I hope this was helpful. And I, again, have videos on Thursdays and Sundays, and I might put out little shorts on Tuesdays, little like 1-minute things, okay, which still take a lot of time to make those stupid like short, because making them short is hard. So love you guys so much. It was great to be here with you. And I don't know what I'm going to do now, because I really do like being live and hanging out. So I will see you. So bye, Brown Divinity, Tangela, Life Coaching 365. Who else? Brown Divinity, Chosen Nile. Thank you. Great to see you. Betty B 808. I like that, Betty B. All right. Stay blissed and blessed. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.